After a disappointing season in the 2023 edition of the Women's Premier League, the RCB girls were rearing to go this season and turn things around. Having won two out of their first two games, it all looked a pretty picture for the RCB dugout. But it didn't take long for the tough competition in the tournament to give the girls in red and gold a tough wake up call. Having lost both the following encounters, RCB needed to register at least two victories in the remaining four encounters. The battalion, led by Smriti Mandana, did exactly that as they got the better of the UP Warriors and the Mumbai Indians to book their spot in the playoff for the first time in two seasons. The defending champions, much like RCB, started their champions on a high note, having lost just a single game in their first four encounters. They continued their dominance in the later half, winning the two out of their next four games, and became the first team to qualify for this season's playoffs. Much like last year, they finished second in the points table and will be competing in the Eliminator tonight to secure a spot in the final to defend their title. Hello guys, स्वागत है आपका on yet another episode of Female Cricket Live. आज के शो में हम डिस्कस करेंगे मुंबई इंडियंस और आरसीबी के बीच होने वाले एलिमिनेटर मुकाबले के मैच प्रीव्यू और फैंटेसी पिक्स के बारे में. तो Pratik, I would like to ask you, how excited are you for this encounter, being RCB's first time playing a knockout game in the Women's Premier League?
Firstly, a very good evening to all our viewers and Yazad and Yash. So, obviously, it's a big game today for both the teams. You know, both of them have not had it easy up until now because they've had to fight for their spots in the top three. And you can say that, you know, they have emerged successful when it required the most. Both teams have had their fair shares of up and down. And, you know, regardless of whatever hurdles came on the way for them, they went on and delivered those performances when required the most. So brilliantly done on their end. And starting off with highlighting RCB's campaign throughout this year. You know, they've had a topsy-turvy campaign where they've had a couple of wins and then have faced some very difficult losses which have been difficult to digest, and where their key players hadn't stepped up, but again they somehow found a way to keep bouncing back and come out with a positive outlook time and again, which aided them to come this far. So I would say a lot of credit needs to be given to Smriti Mandana, because this team were considered underdogs prior to the starting of this tournament because of how they went about the last time around, where they faced even bigger losses. But it was very positive, on the team side and for the fans to see that they went about winning those first two games where, a couple of new heroes emerged for the girls in red and gold, be it Shobana Asha, who picked those 5 wickets at the beginning of the tournament, which went about setting the tone for RCB. And, she wasn't one of the bowlers about whom we had discussed a lot, but she went about going and incentivizing her result there. And we've also seen someone like Sabhineni Meghna, who has stood up at crucial situations and gone on to give those brilliant starts for RCB. Yes, she may not be there in the team right now, but she's played a huge role in bringing them up until here. And another such performance for me would be Georgia Wareham with the bat. In one of those games where RCB were reeling, and she came and scored those quick fire 48 runs. So a lot of such small instances have stood out for RCB in this campaign and, have helped them come up until here. And I must say that the losses they faced as well, a couple of them were very close, and it was quite disappointing to see them at the losing end of it. But again, that's been the side of this WPL, where a lot of games have come down to the wire and we've seen some immaculate finishes. But all said and done, I must say that they do stand a formidable chance in today's game, because they've gotten all the corners covered, and they've gotten performances from quite a few players. It's not only the one or two players we keep talking about, but there's a good mix of players who is in it and are capable of winning RCB the game from any given situation. And now talking from the Mumbai Indians, and I just think that from the beginning itself, they've been a very formidable opponent. And at the first half in Bangalore, we saw what kind of a formidable team they are, led by Harmanpreet Kaur. Right from their batting, the power they possess in the middle order, which goes on to their bowling unit, talks volumes about their team, because they've gotten a good mix of the experienced contenders, say people like Nat Saiva Brunt, the content she brings into the team and helps Harmanpreet Kaur going around and making those leadership decisions has played a huge role. And even for a player like Amelia Kerr to rise up this season and grab the opportunities in hand, speaks volumes about their management, also about how they've been backing their players right from the first season and into this one, about going and getting the desired results. Obviously, they've had their fair share of lows. When Harmanpreet Kaur stepped down as captain, they faced a couple of issues, although it was brilliantly executed by Nat Saiva Brunt. And I would say in the second half of the tournament at Delhi, various departments of Mumbai Indians have been tested. And I must say that it's a good thing that it happened before the knockout stages, for them to go back and reassess, multiple permutations and combinations, and come back much more stronger. And much like RCB, a lot of people have been in the mix for them and have been performing consistently. The last time around, when they met RCB, they missed out on Yastika Bhatia's brilliant start, and I'm hopeful that she's fit for today's game and would go on to contribute for the Mumbai Indians. So all in all, we've gotten two very comprehensive sides today who've had their fair share of up and downs, and they've figured out as to what the right strike of balance in their playing 11 would be. And I just think the stakes do not get higher than this, where both of them are going to fight their skins out to win a final spot in the tournament.
या ऐसे राइटली मेंशन कि एक चैंपियन टीम की वो क्वालिटी होती है कि हर मैच में आपके डिफरेंट मैच विनर्स हो, कभी कोई और परफॉर्म कर रहा है, कोई और कभी है, सो ऐसा इट इज व्हाट हैज टू बी अ कैरेक्टरिस्टिक इफ यू वांट टू विन सच अ बिग टूर्नामेंट. हमने पिछले सीजन मुंबई इंडियंस में वही ट्रेड देखा, दिल्ली कैपिटल्स में भी वही ट्रेड चलता आ रहा है, आरसीबी में भी इस बार वो थोड़ा क्वालिटी देखने मिला है. और वही होता है, आपके जो अनुभवी प्लेयर्स होते हैं उनका वही रोल होता है कि भले आप टीम में आपको शायद आपका फॉर्म अच्छा ना चलता हो, तो आप एटलीस्ट वो पॉजिटिव एनवायरनमेंट डगआउट में बनाए रखे कि ठीक है, मेरा मेरा बैटिंग बॉलिंग दोनों है कंट्रीब्यूट करना, बट मेरा बैटिंग नहीं चल रहा है अभी, तो आई विल ट्राई माई बेस्ट टू स्टेप अप विद द बॉल. तो यश, मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूंगा कि ये आप कितने एक्साइटेड है इस मुकाबले के बारे में आज?
एक बहुत एक्साइटिंग एनकाउंटर रहेगा क्योंकि दोनों टॉप क्लास साइड्स है, आरसीबी और मुंबई इंडियंस, दोनों दोनों स्टार से भरी हुई यूनिट है. दोनों के पास एक मैच विनर्स है जो थोड़ा सा अंडर परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं, बट कमिंग इन टूवर्ड्स द बिग स्टेज, द स्टार्स जो रहते हैं वो लोग एक ईगर रहते हैं परफॉर्म करने, मैच विनिंग परफॉर्मेंस डिलीवर करने के लिए. तो दोनों के लिए मतलब एक चैलेंज, मतलब एक रहेगा कि विच स्टार आउट परफॉर्म्स दी अदर. और जहाँ तक हम कैंपेन की बात करें, मुंबई इंडियंस का कैंपेन काफ़ी कंसिस्टेंट रहा है. उन्होंने मतलब शुरुआत अच्छी की थी, और अगर ट्रेंड देखें तो उन्होंने किसी भी स्टेज पे ये सीजन में बैक टू बैक डिफीट्स नहीं झेले हैं उन्होंने. और एक डिफीट के बाद उन्होंने अच्छे से बाउंस बैक किया है, और उनका साइड भी काफ़ी कंसिस्टेंट रहा है. जैसे कि इन टर्म्स ऑफ चेंजेस, अनलेस अगर कोई इंजरी हो या फिर कोई फोर्स चेंज हो तभी चेंज हुआ है. वाइल ऑन द अदर हैंड अगर हम आरसीबी का देखें, उनकी शुरुआत अच्छी रही थी, पहले 2 मैचेस जीते थे, लेकिन बाकी के 6 मैचेस में उन्होंने केवल 2 मैचेस जीत पाए हैं बाकी के. और दूसरा एक फैक्टर वो भी रहेगा कि उनके इसमें हमने देखा कि टॉप ऑर्डर में काफ़ी चेंजेस रहे थे, कंसिस्टेंसी वहाँ पे नहीं थी. बट फिर कुछ उनके स्टार प्लेयर्स जो काफ़ी उन पे डिपेंडेंस रहता था, कि पावर प्ले में रेणुका सिंह का देख ले परफॉर्मेंस, कुछ मैचेस में अच्छा था लेकिन मोस्ट ऑफ द मैचेस विकेटलेस रहे हैं। तो वो एक कुछ कुछ चीज़ें हैं, तो उनको ये मैच में इम्प्रूव करनी होगी और एज अ कलेक्टिव यूनिट खेलना होगा। क्योंकि हमने अभी तक देखा है कि जब भी उन्होंने कॉम्प्रिहेंसिवली जीता है, तो एक प्लेयर ने एक स्टैंड अप किया है कि हाँ आज मैं रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेता हूँ। लेकिन एलिमिट नॉकआउट स्टेजेस ऐसे रहते हैं कि एक प्लेयर के परफॉर्मेंस पे आप मैच नहीं जीत सकते। हम एज अ टीम परफॉर्म करना होगा, तब भी जाके ये क्रंच सिचुएशंस में वो लोग टॉप कर पाएंगे। तो वो एक देखने वाली चीज रहेगी कि अंडर द प्रेशर नव कौन बेटर हैंडल करता है।
तो आगे बढ़ने से पहले शो में मैं हमारी फैंटेसी 11 डिस्कस कर लेना चाहूंगा। प्रतीक, आप शुरुआत करेंगे?
Sure, Azad. Yeah. So my fantasy playing 11 would consist of two wicket keepers, and over the season, both of them have judiciously stuck to that role and gone about contributing their team in a great way. Starting off with Yastika Bhatia, we've spoken time and again about how crucially she is at the power play, because she's a very outgoing batter who relies on those traditional cricketing shots, but also blends them with the aerial route she takes, and she's gone on to play a very crucial role. The last time around, when Mumbai Indians lost to RCB, we could see as to they were missing the Justika element in their batting lineup, the aggressive approach, and I'm hopeful that she is fit and fine to play in today's encounter. And then talking about Richa Ghosh, the undisputed hero for the Royal Challengers Bangalore. And I feel throughout the season, she's stuck to her role, that is to come at the middle order and go about accelerating the innings. And she's done it to a great extent, because RCB have found themselves in a couple of difficult situations where they have lost wickets in quick intervals and are moving with a slower run rate. But with the incoming of Richa Ghosh, things have turned. And even against the Delhi Capitals the other night, where RCB fell short by just one run, that is as clutch as it gets to get the game that far. It was quite unfortunate that they could not get over the line, but that just speaks volumes about the quality Richa Ghosh has possessed. And with my batters, I have skippers of both sides. Starting off with Harmanpreet Kaur, we've seen her, play brilliantly in the first half of the innings in Bangalore. She's gotten off to brilliant starts and has played as a leader of the unit right from the beginning. And then we've seen her miss out a couple of games because of the injury, and also spoken about how rusty she could be while coming back. But the innings the other night, where she helped them chase down that target, cleared all questions from her mind. She was looking in her element with all those gigantic sixers, and I think she just needs to move into this game with all the positive aspects, given that she went for a duck the last time around by Ellyse Perry. All of such things need to be forgotten, because she's performed much more than that, and she would play a really crucial role for Mumbai Indians at the middle order. And now talking about Smriti Mandana, my skipper in the fantasy playing 11, and like I mentioned before, also the RCB batting lineup revolves around how Smriti Mandana goes on to carve her innings, because at times where she's gotten out early, often the middle order has been put in a difficult situations where runs haven't been easy to come by, and all the batters do find it difficult to get going. So for her, to maximize RCB's chances today, it is crucial for her to do what she's been doing the best, that is to give good starts at the top, because she has looked comfortable with the faster bowlers throughout the season, although a couple of dismissals here and there to the spinners. We've spoken about her facing issues, with the wrist and finger spinners. So should be interesting to see Harmanpreet's approach today towards Smriti Mandhana. And starting off with the all-rounders, Ellyse Perry, she's been the talk of the town for the last couple of days after that exceptional spell of 6 for 15 against the Mumbai Indians itself. And I must say, players like Ellyse deliver at crunch situations where it's required the most. We've discussed about her, not picking up wickets before that game, but just the way she went about in that game, where she carried in her batting confidence into the bowling department and went about executing her lines and lengths, was just immaculate. And even for the middle order, for the Royal Challengers Bangalore, she's stepped in at very testing times and has gone on to script some brilliant innings both for herself and RCB. So if Perry does well today, I would say RCB has got a huge chance of making it over to the finals. And talking about Haley Matthews, she's had a hot and cold season this time around, both with the bat and ball. But fortunately for the Mumbai Indians, she has gotten runs of late, those 20s and 30s in the power play, which put off the Mumbai Indians to a brilliant start. So, from her point of view, it's just about continuing the good work and going deeper into the innings, because you know that you have a very formidable batting lineup to come after you. So just let loose after you are into the innings. And both Haley Matthews and Yastika Bhatia form a very you know a difficult duo to bowl to. And then we've gotten Nat Cyberbrunt. We've discussed on multiple occasions as to how she could go on and perform better, because for the numbers she possesses and her performance this season, she's not lived up to it. But you can never write a player off like Nat Silverbrand. So it is extremely essential for her to take things in a slower manner, so that she goes on and gets settled both with the bat and ball, and then she can go on to incentivize her performance. And then talking about Sophie Devine, the experienced contender for the Royal Challengers Bangalore. Once again, in the second half of the tournament, she's gone on to find that little bit of form where she's gotten off the starts and gotten those 25s or 30s with a couple of sixers. So it's not the problem about her form as such, because she has been comfortable in sending those sixers out of the park. But it's just about finding more time in the middle, because for the more time she stays, runs have been easy to come by because of those big blows. And if she could do that today, I think RCB again stand a great chance in finishing off with a good score. Amelia Kerr, she's someone who stood up for Mumbai Indians from the very first day with the bat and the ball. Whenever she's been handed over the responsibility, results have been delivered. And I would also, appreciate the fact as to how Harmanpreet Kaur has gone to utilize her with the ball, because she hasn't gotten those standardized 2 and 2 over spells, but she's used at multiple phases of the game, where a partnership is building, or when a new batter comes in and you want to like break the partnership immediately. So Amelia Kerr, needs to use the variations she's been using, the occasional googly, which the batters find it extremely difficult to pick on it. So again, very important factor with the ball and even with the bat. All season long, she's helped steady the middle order where there have been fall of wickets, or be it supporting Harmanpreet Kaur or someone like a Nat Brunt in the middle. She's been exceptional in that, and the same needs to be done today as well. And for the bowlers, starting off with Shabnim Ismail, she's generated some real quick pace this season, and batters have found it difficult, to navigate that power play stage of hers, because pace combined with the movement she's gotten off the surface, it's difficult for the batters to maneuver the ball up in the front. And it's best for her at Mumbai Indians, if she's able to get the movement she does at the front to dismiss someone like Smriti Mandana, and go on to put the RCB batting lineup under pressure at the very early stage. And to conclude with Shreyanka Patil, once again, she did not have a great start to the season in Bengaluru. She did go for a couple of runs and then was also dropped off the team. but it's just about the way she's come back at Delhi and has gone on to scalp some crucial wickets at important intervals. So it would again be important for her to do the same, stick to her lines, and keep learning from the mistakes she's done, because she's still a very young contender. And for someone like Shriyanka to go on and become one of the main bowlers for the RCB, it's been a great achievement. But I'm just hopeful that it does transform to some good performance, and turns out helping the RCB win today's game. So yeah, that's about my fantasy playing 11.
यश आपकी फैंटेसी 11 अब देखते हैं.
I have gone with two wicket keepers, two batters, and five all-rounders and two bowlers. तो स्टार्टिंग में यस्ते कपाटिया, जैसे कि हमने देखा है कि थ्रू आउट द सीजन उन्होंने एग्रेसिव रोल प्ले किया है टू हेली मैथ्यूज एट द टॉप ऑफ द ऑर्डर, और मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स सक्सेसफुल भी रहे हैं. तो वो वापस से पिछला मैच मिस करने के बाद ये मैच में कमबैक करते हैं तो उनका क्रूशल रोल रह जाएगा. और रिचा घोष, टॉकिंग अबाउट रिचा घोष, उन्होंने काफ़ी वाइटल कंट्रीब्यूशंस दिए एट द टुवर्ड्स द एंड ऑफ द इनिंग्स, और बेंगलोर को जीतने में उनका इम्पोर्टेंट रोल रहा है जब भी उन्होंने एक फिनिश अच्छा किया है तो. और हरमनप्रीत कौर की बात करें तो उनका सीज़न काफ़ी अच्छा रहा है मुंबई इंडियंस के लिए, और उनका कंट्रीब्यूशंस भी मैटर करा है जब भी मुंबई इंडियंस जीते हैं तभी. और स्मृति मंदाना की बात करें तो उनका भी एक एज अ कैप्टन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल बन जाता है. तो अगर वो पावर प्ले फेज सर्वाइव करते हैं, हमने देखा है कि अगर वो फेज सर्वाइव होने के बाद उनका एक बड़ा इनिंग्स आता है और इनिंग्स को डीप तक लेके जाते हैं, तो वो आरसीबी के लिए बेनिफिशियल होता है. और एलिस पेरी की बात करें तो अगर जैसे कि हमने पिछले मैच में इन दोनों के बीच देखा था कि थोड़ा सा हेल्प था पेसर्स के लिए और स्विंग मोमेंट था, तो अगर आज का पिच भी थोड़ा हेल्प देता है तो उनका रोल विद द बॉल विल आल्सो बी वेरी क्रूशल. और बैटिंग में तो उन्होंने कंसिस्टेंट परफॉर्मेंसेस दिए ही है एलिस पेरी ने. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट फर्स्ट गेम उनका कंसिस्टेंट परफॉर्मेंस से आए हैं. और हेरी मैथ्यूज, भले उन्होंने बैट से उतना जितना एक्सपेक्टेड था उतना उनका कंट्रीब्यूशन नहीं आया है, लेकिन कंसिस्टेंटली दे शी हैज़ कंट्रीब्यूटेड विद द बॉल. और रिसेंट कुछ मैचेस में देखे तो उन्होंने कंसिस्टेंटली विकेट्स लिए हैं. तो अगर बैटिंग से नहीं चलते तो उन्होंने बॉलिंग में डिलीवर किया है. और नैट सिवर ब्रंट की हम बात करें, भले उनका इनिंग्स अभी उनका सीज़न अभी तक का उतना इम्प्रेसिव नहीं रहा है, लेकिन जैसे कि हमने पिछले इसमें भी देखा था कि बड़े मैच के प्लेयर है, तो फर्स्ट इनॉग्रल सीजन में भी उनका जो परफॉर्मेंस था वो वैसा ही था थ्रू आउट द कैंपेन. बट जब भी एलिमिनेटर आया तो उनका एक बड़ा इनिंग्स आया था, बेस्ट परफॉर्मेंस आया था. तो आज उनसे मैं भी कुछ ऐसे ही एक्सपेक्ट करूँगा. और सोफी डिवाइन है, वो भी एज वेरी मच लाइक नैट सिवर ब्रंट बिग मैच प्लेयर, और उन्होंने बॉलिंग में भी कंसिस्टेंटली कंट्रीब्यूट किया है. तो हमने देखा है कि 3 से 4 ओवर कंसिस्टेंटली डालते हैं अगर थोड़ा बहुत हेल्प मिलता है तो. और उनका बैटिंग में भी रिसेंटली अभी कुछ इनिंग्स में वो पुराना फ्लो दिख रहा है. तो वही मैं चाहूँगा कि वो कंटिन्यू करे, और आरसीबी के लिए भी काफ़ी बेनिफिशियल रहेगा अगर वो कंटिन्यू होता है तो. एंड सोफी मोलिन्यू, सोफी मालिनी हमने देखा है कि जब भी उन्होंने विकेट्स लिए हैं, एक दो या तीन विकेट्स लिए हैं, तभी आरसीबी को मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स ऑन विनिंग कॉल्स एंड किया है. तो उनका रोल विद द बॉल इन द पावर प्ले आल्सो काफ़ी क्रूशल रहा है. और हमने देखा है पिछले कुछ मैचेस में कि वो अभी ओपन भी कर रहे हैं स्मृति मंदाना के साथ. और बैटिंग में भी उनका वो काफ़ी कॉन्फिडेंट नज़र आए हैं. बस वो एक बड़ा इनिंग्स मतलब बोलते हैं कि स्टार्ट नहीं दे पाए, बट होपफुली बॉलिंग के साथ कंट्रीब्यूट करें और बैटिंग पे भी कंट्रीब्यूट करेंगे तो आरसीबी को एक अच्छा बेनिफिट मिलेगा. और शबनम इस्माइल, जैसे कि हमने देखा है कि पावर प्ले में जब भी उनको रिदम मिलता है तो पूरा पोजीशन के टॉप ऑर्डर को हिला के रख देते हैं. तो अगर थोड़ा सा हेल्प मिलता है तो वो काफ़ी लीथल हो सकता है आज भी. और पूजा वस्त्रकर मेरी क्लास प्लेयर, तो पूजा वस्त्रकर का जो परफॉर्मेंसेस है वो मिडल ओवर्स में देखा है हमने कि कुछ एक दो ओवर्स डालते रहते हैं, बट जब भी उन्होंने बॉलिंग की है तो काफ़ी इम्प्रेसिव रही है, और हार्ड लेंस भी हिट किया है, और यॉर्कर लेंस भी अच्छे से हिट किया है, और विकेट्स भी लेने में कामयाब रहे हैं। तो उनका भी एक रोल क्रूशल हो सकता है आज के मैच में।
बिल्कुल, ये हमारी थी फैंटेसी टीम्स आज के लिए। अब शो में आगे बढ़ते हैं और अब हम डिस्कस करेंगे आज के की प्लेयर्स। सो पहले आरसीबी से शुरुआत करेंगे हम। आरसीबी के लिए फर्स्ट की प्लेयर आज हमारे लिए है एलिस पेरी। बेहतरीन ऑलराउंडर है और एक वाइटल रोल प्ले किया है उन्होंने विद द बैट इस सीजन में। पिछला मैच हमने देखा व्हाट शी डिड विद the MI batting lineup. She absolutely ran through them like hot knife through butter. We means they seemed clueless against her, to be very precise. Aisa, you don't usually see this at such a big stage, but she completely dominated the Mumbai Indians batting lineup. She took those 6 wickets. Then with the bat, she scored those 40 runs. And it was an overall performance from her. और एक तरह से कहा जा सकता है it was not MI versus RCB, it was more like we are seeing a match between Ellis Perry and Mumbai Indians. So I'd like to ask you, Pratik, how key a role does Ellis Perry play in today's game?
Well, Yazad, the last time around she took field against Mumbai Indians, and the performance she delivered. I would say that's how important a role she's gone on to play for RCB. Not only in that game, but right from the second half of the season, she's gone on to portray her true self, and she's gotten a good knack of how you execute your tasks on the Indian subcontinent wicket. So starting off with her batting, she's found herself in multiple testing situations right throughout the season, where a couple of wickets fall in the power play and she's up, or she's into the batting phase when the team requires a huge total, and the required rate has been mounting up. But it's just about her dynamics as a batter to play in the V and play straight, because her first two like 10 balls have only included the orthodox defense, and she plays it around the ground for a couple of singles only after she gets onto the bowlers and goes on to play some huge shots. So that talks volumes about her maturity as a batter, and also the fact that she wants to take the innings deep with her being in the middle. So this has greatly gone on to benefit, because she's also found a couple of batters at the other end who play the role of the aggressor, be it Sophie Devine or Richa Ghosh, Georgia Wareham. All of these take the game with a more aggressive approach and rely on those boundaries. But she's heavily relied on those singles and doubles, where she just knocks it onto the deep and runs for it. And I also feel that this puts a lot of pressure on the fielder, because she's always pushing for the second run, which makes the fielder to reach out to the ball quickly, and there's a potential misfield. So we could just go on and talk about the perks of having Elise Perry as a batter, but she's stood out with 246 runs this season and a lot of 30 plus scores, because in T20 cricket, that is what is considered, because you don't have so many balls to accelerate. So she's given all the memories to her fans and has scored the runs. But today is the D-Day, and it would be interesting to see as to how she would navigate the Mumbai bowling unit, right from Shabnim Ismail to NSB and Saika Ishak, Amelia Kerr. All of these girls have been consistent and have performed at testing times. So she would have to be a little more cautious today, and pick her shots wisely, because one wrong shot selection would mean that she's back into the dressing room. And another thing I would like to highlight is the last couple of games RCB have been in situations where runs have had to come quickly, or they would go on to lose games, and in such situations Perry has been involved in a lot of risky singles and doubles, and it just doesn't make sense, where you would go on to sacrifice your wicket for just that one run and that moment. So I hope that this is considered in today's game, because the Mumbai Indians fielding unit, I must say, has been one of the best in this WPL, and they have gotten onto the opportunities as they have come by. And talking a little about Perry's bowling, she hadn't gotten a wicket for the entire season, and just as we were talking, on that very day she went on to pick those 6 wickets. So for a player like her, it's not really about getting into the rhythm throughout the tournament and then going on to take wickets, because she knows how to operate as a fast bowler and has played considerable amount of test cricket as well. So she's used to bowl that test cricket length, which is extremely testing and tough to get away with in a T20 game, because you have to either get closely to the ball to slog it, or get away from it and play the pull shot or the cut shot. And the last time around, I would just say that her deliveries were pitched in the perfect length from where they seemed back in to all the right handers. So the Mumbai Indians batters would definitely watch out for her, because she single handedly derailed their batting unit. So it's going to be a big matchup today for Ellyse Perry against the entire Mumbai Indians.
बिल्कुल, जैसा कि एक तरह से हम कहते हैं ना कि वो ऑस्ट्रेलियन प्लेयर्स जो होते हैं वो क्लच प्लेयर्स होते हैं, जितना बड़ा गेम उतना अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस आता है उनके बल्ले से या गेंद से, विच एवर देयर स्ट्रॉन्गर सूट इज। तो एक तरह से उन्होंने वो रेप्लिकेट किया पिछले मुकाबले में, जहाँ वी ऑलमोस्ट शी सिंगल हैंडेडली वन दैट गेम फॉर आरसीबी। सो मैं यश आपसे पूछना चाहूंगा कि कितना की रोल प्ले करेंगी आज एलिस पेरी इफ आरसीबी वांट टू प्ले देयर मेडन फाइनल?
आरसीबी की वो अल्टीमेट इम्पैक्ट प्लेयर रही है ये सीजन में। तो हमने उनके बैटिंग के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देखे तो उनका कंसिस्टेंटली 20+ रन्स कंट्रीब्यूट किए उन्होंने। अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट फर्स्ट गेम उनका जब भी स्कोर देखे तो हम देखेंगे कि 20s 30s और उनका हाफ सेंचुरीज भी आया है। तो और उनका एक टेम्पलेट हमने देखा है कि वो इनिशियली टू स्टार्ट विथ शी गेट्स यूज्ड टू द कंडीशंस, और फिर वो अटैक करती है कि एक बार कंडीशंस समझने के बाद कि बॉल कितना टर्न हो रहा है, बॉलर्स को कितना हेल्प मिल रहा है, उसके बाद फिर वो बॉलर्स को टारगेट करके फिर वो अटैक करती है। तो वो एक अप्रोच बहुत बेनिफिशियल रह सकता है आज के मैच में। और फ्रॉम द बॉलिंग पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, जैसे कि हमने पिछले हेड टू हेड कॉन्टेस्ट में देखा था कि थोड़ा सा हेल्प मिला था, तो और उन्होंने किस तरीके से अपने एडवांटेज में वो हेल्प को यूज़ किया था। तो अगर आज के मैच में भी पिच से थोड़ा सा मॉइस्चर और सिमर्स को हेल्प मिलता है तो शी कैन अगेन चिप इन विद 2-3 overs and get those breakthroughs once again for RCB.
Good. Let's quickly move on to our next key player from the RCB setup, that is the captain Smriti Mandana. बतौर कप्तान और बल्लेबाज है आरसीबी की, इस सीजन टॉप स्कोरर है और एक पिविटल रोल प्ले करती है आरसीबी लाइनअप में, बी इट विद हर कैप्टेंसी और विद द बैट। बट हमने अक्सर नोटिस किया है कि इफ शी इज हैविंग अ गुड डे इन द फील्ड, शी इज गॉन ऑन टू मेक रन्स विद द बैट, और वाइसा वर्सा भी ट्रू कहा जा सकता है कि इफ शी स्कोर्ड सम रन्स अप फ्रंट तो वो उनकी कैप्टेंसी में दर्शाता है कि शी लुक्स कॉन्फिडेंट इन द फील्ड। और अभी उनके थोड़े स्टैट्स देखते हैं। इस सीजन उन्होंने 259 रन्स बनाए हैं, हाईएस्ट स्कोर 80 का रहा है। तो एक तरह से कहा जा सकता है कि सबसे क्रूशियल बैटर अगर कोई है आरसीबी के लाइनअप में अपार्ट फ्रॉम एलिस पेट तो वो स्मृति मंदाना ही है। शी इज गिवन दोस क्विक स्टार्ट्स अप फ्रंट। वो थोड़ा हमने जैसे कि पिछले मैच में भी डिस्कस किया था कि वो स्टेबिलिटी एट द टॉप ऑफ द ऑर्डर नहीं है उनके पास। शी इज constantly had changing partners at the other end, and that has shown a bit in her form. But apart from that, she's been an absolute gun player for RCB this season. यश, स्मृति मंदाना के बारे में आपका क्या कहना है आज?
एक स्मृति मंदाना ये सीजन एक आरसीबी के लिए मेजर कंट्रीब्यूटर रही है अपार्ट फ्रॉम एलिस पेरी, जैसे कि हमने देखा। तो जब भी हमने देखा कि अगर वो पावर प्ले एक बार सर्वाइव कर जाते हैं तो उसके बाद वो इनिंग्स को डीप लेके जाते हैं और उनके बल्ले से एक बड़ा स्कोर आता है जिस वजह से आरसीबी को एक विनिंग पोजीशन में एक भेज देते हैं। तो फिर एक अच्छा स्कोर आता है। तो स्मृति मंदाना और आरसीबी के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से क्रूशियल यही रहेगा कि स्मृति मंदाना पावर प्ले एक बार सरवाइव कर ले, और उसके बाद फिर इनिंग्स को जितना डीप ले जा सके वो ले जा सके, वो ले। और लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू द बिग स्कोर। उन्होंने देखा है, हमने देखा है कि जैसे उन्होंने गियर्स एक शिफ्ट किए हैं सेट होने के बाद, तो वो एक पैरामीटर ऑफ हर इनिंग्स वुड बी वेरी क्रूशियल टुडे।
यश, आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा कि स्मृति मंधाना काफ़ी एक क्रूशियल रोल प्ले करेंगी, और उनका जो परफॉर्मेंस रहेगा एट द टॉप ऑफ द ऑर्डर विल प्रीटी मच डिक्टेट द कोर्स ऑफ द मैच फॉर आरसीबी. Pratik, I'd like to ask you about Smriti tonight.
Yes, and firstly, Smriti has made sure that her circumstance has not affected as to how she goes on to play on an individual basis. That is her batting, because we spoke about her and the partners she's been batting with have gone on to change. And I feel as an opener, the relationship you hold with your opening batter is very deep, because pre-game you go on to strategize as to how you would go on, and just go on to dictate the course of the innings. And even in the middle, there's a lot of conversation between you guys where you suggest each other as to which bowler is getting movement and how much they're getting movement. So such small instances between the openers play a big role, and which also gets in a sense of comfort. And Smriti has not had the liberty of that. She's had a couple of openers going around with her, starting off with Sophie Devine, and then we saw Sabineni Meghna, and currently, it is halted at Sophie Molyneux. But the one thing you got to appreciate about her is, if you go out and see those highlight packages, you can see the conversations she's had with, the lesser experienced opening batters. Say, for example, Sabineni Meghna, when she's been struggling, the words of affirmation she's gone on to tell her, this dictates a lot about her leadership, and about how much this team means to her, because the opening partnership pretty much goes on to script as to how much you're going to score in that particular innings. So again, just brilliant on her front with that initiative. And with the new ball, she's best when she plays all the straight shots, and puts away the bad balls, because whenever she's done that, she's made sure to go on and play the entire power play and extend from there as well. But on a couple of circumstances, where she's fallen for the spinners, that is when she was trying to play across the wicket or going to try something new, she got it onto her pads or onto the stumps. So it would be best for her and the team if she does not experiment with what she's gotten in her tank, because about how Spriti goes, it goes on to dictate as to how RCB would go out and play their innings. So she would have a lot of challenges today, right from facing Shabnim Ismail at the top, who's been a pace powerhouse this season. So she would have to look out for which balls to play, the ones to leave, and about taking the calculated risks. But all in all, it's best if she's herself and goes on and executing the class. And it's not about you being an RCB or MI fan, but her batting just makes you fall in love with the game even more.
So I'd quickly like to move on to our key players from the Mumbai Indians perspective. Our first key player for the Mumbai Indians is Haley Matthews. काबिल ऑलराउंडर है, हैंडी विद द बॉल एंड बैट बोथ, और फील्डिंग भी काफ़ी अच्छी कर देती है. इस सीजन शी हैजंट सीम हरसेल्फ, थोड़ा ऑफ कलर नजर आई है, but she's made some crucial contribution right throughout the tournament. She's had those odd 30s or odd spells where she's picked up a couple of wickets. तो मैं यहाँ पे थोड़े उनके स्टैट्स डिस्कस करूंगा. 165 रन she's made. She's contributed with 5 scalps. और she's been opening the batting with यास्तिका भाटिया, और वो एक शुरुआत बहुत अच्छी देती है at the top of the order, जिसके बाद the very heavy armory wala, the middle order of Mumbai Indians comes in, and then they build on that start. We have Nat Seva Brandt, we have Harmanpreet Kaur, Amilya Kaur. So there's no lack of batting from Mumbai Indians perspective, but the start that she gives, the Mumbai Indians plays out those tricky overs in the power play and gives them a platform which they can build on. So she's a very key player from the Mumbai Indians perspective. यश, मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूंगा कि हेली मैथ्यूज का रोल आज कितना क्रूशियल रहेगा फ्रॉम अ मुंबई इंडियंस पर्सपेक्टिव.
एब्सोल्युटली क्रूशल रहेगा कि फ्रॉम द बैटिंग पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ऑल्सो कि हमने देखा भले पूरा सीजन उनका जितना एक्सपेक्टेड था उतना नहीं हो पाया है परफॉर्मेंस बैट के साथ, बट रिसेंट कुछ इनिंग्स में उनका कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ते हुए दिखा है और कंट्रीब्यूशंस भी थोड़ा बढ़ रहा है कि 18s एंड 20s वो कंसिस्टेंटली स्कोर कर रहे हैं एट द टॉप ऑफ द ऑर्डर. और मेन चीज़ ये है कि अच्छा स्टार्ट मिल रहा है मुंबई इंडियंस को. और फ्रॉम द बॉलिंग पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू हमने पिछले कुछ इनिंग्स में देखा कि कंसिस्टेंटली पिछले देखा जाए तो पिछले 4 इनिंग्स में कंसिस्टेंटली 1 विकेट तो उन्होंने दिया ही है उनके बॉलिंग में. तो वो एक बैटिंग से नहीं क्लिक करते तो उन्होंने इंश्योर किया है कि बॉलिंग में कंट्रीब्यूट करे और फील्डिंग में कंट्रीब्यूट करे. एंड दूसरा चीज़ है कि उनका कैप्टनसी एंगल, तो वो हरमनप्रीत कौर को भी एज अ कैप्टनसी थोड़े टिप्स में हेल्प करेंगे तो वो भी एक क्रूशल रहेगा कि अगर प्रेशर में है तो किस प्लेयर को किस जगह पे फील्ड सेट करने का. तो वो छोटे छोटे चेंजेस है तो वो काफ़ी नॉकआउट मैचेस में इम्पैक्ट करते हैं. तो वो एक वैल्यू ऐड करता है फॉर हेली मैथ्यूज एज अ प्लेयर.
Pratik, I'd like to ask you now, Haley Matthews from a Mumbai Indians perspective, how important does a role she play?
Well, Yazad, so right, rightly, like how you pointed out as to how she's gotten to a couple of 30s in the tournament, and hasn't been able to gone on to extend her run streak. So talking about that and the fact that Mumbai Indians possess a very long batting order, so the 30s have been crucial at the top because herself and Yastika Bhatia have played the majority of the power play in the tournaments. But somewhere, if you go on to observe, Haley Matthews has taken a lot more balls to come in and get settled because she hasn't been able to go from ball number one. It's been Yastika doing all the stroke play, for the first couple of overs, which is when Haley Matthews comes and goes on to unleash her true self. And, just like this, each partnership works. So that has been great for them. But if only Haley Matthews could possess the potential of not delaying further than the power play and going after the bowlers, because they do have a very long batting lineup. And if you end up taking majority of the chunk of the balls in the first half of the innings, then you would be putting a lot of pressure onto those batters that are going to come, because up until 5 or 6 turn you've gotten really good batters who can hit the sixers at will. So it would be good for her and the Mumbai Indians to, so that Haley Matthews can get scoring the sixers and the boundaries, because when she's in the groove, so that the batters get much more time lower down the order. And again, with the ball, she hasn't been treated as a main bowler per se, because she's been used a couple of times by Harmanpreet Kaur here and there and has not gone on to finish her 4 over quota. But although she's been successful in picking those wickets, and I feel it's the angle she creates, with the off spinners, because she comes both over and around the wicket and tries the various combinations that are there. So again, she would play a crucial role, given that the RCB batting lineup do possess a lot of right and left handers.
So I'd quickly like to move on to our next key player from the Mumbai Indians setup. That is Nat Seva Brandt. Nat Seva Brandt vice captain है मुंबई इंडियंस की साइड की. शी इज द स्टैंड इन स्किपर ऑन ओकेजन्स वेयर हरमनप्रीत कौर इज अनएबल टू टेक द फील्ड. काबिल ऑलराउंडर है और जैसा कि हम पहले भी डिस्कस कर चुके हैं, एक बिग मैच प्लेयर है. वीव सीन द number of finals that England has played where she's played a vital role. Even last year in the WPL final, she was the player of the match in that game. This season, she has not been herself with the bat, but she's picked up 8 wickets and scored 149 runs this season. And ek tarah se she's been pivotal even in the leadership group, like we discussed. She's the vice captain, and on occasion she's offered her, uh, you know, uh, her inputs to Harmanpreet Kaur when things are not exactly going Mumbai Indians way. So यश मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूंगा नैट से ब्रेंट कितना इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले करेंगी आज.
नेट सिल्वरब्रंट, जैसे कि हमें पता है कि वो एक मैच विनर है, और मैच विनर को बड़े ओकेजन्स पे स्टेप अप करने के लिए कुछ एक्स्ट्रा मोटिवेशन की ज़रूरत नहीं रहती। और भले उनका सीज़न उतना अच्छा ना रहा हो बैट के साथ, लेकिन ये एक आज का मैच एक अपॉर्चुनिटी है, और उन्होंने डिलीवर भी किया है कि ऐसे बड़े ओकेजन में कि उनको एक अच्छा इनिंग्स दे और मैच विनिंग इनिंग्स प्रोवाइड करे। और फ्रॉम द बॉलिंग पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू उन्होंने कंसिस्टेंटली विकेट्स लिए ही है, और तो 8 विकेट्स देखा जाए तो आई थिंक सेकंड बेस्ट रहेगा मुंबई इंडियंस का। और पिछले साल भी हमने देखा कि भले उनका थ्रू आउट द सीजन कुछ इम्पैक्टफुल ज़्यादा परफॉर्मेंस नहीं थे, बट टुवर्ड्स द फैग एंड ऑफ द टूर्नामेंट, जैसे कि एलिमिनेटर और फाइनल, एलिमिनेटर में भी उनका देखा जाए तो सीज़न का बेस्ट परफॉर्मेंस आया था, 72 ऑड रन मारे थे। और फाइनल में भी उन्होंने फॉलो अप करा था अनदर हाफ सेंचुरी के साथ। तो वो हमने देखा है कि बड़े मैचेस रहते हैं तो उनको एक अलग ही जोन में आ जाते हैं। तो वैसे ही कुछ परफॉर्मेंस आज भी उनसे उम्मीद रहेगी।
Uh, I would like to ask you, Pratik, now how important a role will Nat Silverbrand play today if Mumbai Indians are to go on and play their second consecutive final?
Well, Azad, so the role she plays for any team she has been in has gone on to exceed the limits, because she forms one of the leadership members of the team purely because of the experience she gets onto the table. But I must say that this season from her standpoint has been quite disappointing, purely because of the standards she set both with the bat and ball. She's been slacking quite a bit. And as players, you do go through such phases where you really cannot narrow down to a certain technical issues of your game, but it's just how it is, and all it takes is really one innings of a performance to break free and go on to achieve the success you've been looking for with the bat. I think at the top she's just tried a little too hard, because very early on in the innings, sometimes she's gone for the big shots, when she's really not settled in and has gone on to give the wickets. And if people like Nat Silverbrand, Harmanpreet Kaur, or Amelia Kerr in the middle order depart early, it makes it very difficult for the batters who come in, because these three form the fulcrum of a batting unit and also have the experience about navigating the various situations. And I would say NSB is the most experienced batter there in the middle order, because of the number of leagues she plays in, or even for her country, the number of years she's been there in the circuit speaks volumes. So I just think that again she needs to start from square one, leaving apart as to how the like beginning half of the tournament has panned out to be, and start with a fresh mindset so that she could build on those singles and doubles and go on to score big runs today. And much like Yash mentioned, she is a big match player, and someone who thrives under pressure. So let's just hope and watch that this is that instance where she breaks free, and for Mumbai Indians, she goes on to perform exceptionally well with the bat.
So yeah, I agree with you. Nat Silverbrand is going to be a crucial wicket for the RCB bowlers, and even with the ball, you will have to negotiate her spell out well, because we know how she hits those hard lengths, and she's pretty accurate with her bowling as well. So I'll quickly like to move for the fan perspective, from the Mumbai Indians perspective first. So Harmanpreet Kaur's impact. So there's this very interesting stat that I'd like to show y'all. This season, Mumbai Indians have gone on to win 5 games, out of which Harmanpreet Kaur has featured in 4 games. and her average when Mumbai Indians go on to win a match is 114.50. So that shows how crucial a role she plays while winning. And if this had not convinced you, and when Mumbai Indians have lost, her average is only 3 runs. So this has to be one of the most crucial matchups in today's game. How quickly do the RCB bowlers manage to dismiss Harmanpreet Kaur? So, Pratik, I'd like to take your views first. Being an RCB fan, how important is Harmanpreet Kaur's wicket?
I think the last time around, when they both met, somewhere RCB cracked the code and got her up at the very first ball of her innings, and really that went on to dictate the Mumbai Indians innings. And for me, Harmanpreet Kaur plays multiple roles in that unit, not just as a batter or a leader, but it's just the aura she brings into the campaign with her aggressive outlook. Starting off with her batting, she comes into that stage where the team has lost a couple of wickets, and you're already a couple of overs into the game. And when she comes in, she makes sure that she goes on to redefine how the innings will pan out with her approach with the bat. And on multiple occasions, we've seen about her taking the attack to the bowler, up front, and striking a couple of boundaries, which goes on to put the pendulum into the Mumbai Indians unit, because she's that proactive player who does not want to linger around with the current situation, but wants to go on and make a change. And it was quite evident when she was injured that how the Mumbai Indians batting was doing, because there was some element missing there in the middle. And about the facts you told Yazad about, that when Harman's gone on to play the game, Mumbai has won the game. I think it's only because she's found many a ways about how Mumbai Indians could bounce back from stages where it seemed impossible. The culmination of her experience and her skill sets, both with the ball, both with the bat and the captain, have been immense. So for RCB to pick that prized wicket up early is very important, because whenever she's gotten off to good starts, there is no stop to it. And also her partners at the other end feel much more confident that there is someone like Harmanpreet Kaur at the non-strikers end, so I have the license to go after the bowlers. And by dismissing her up front, you completely dismantle the Mumbai Indians dynamics, and it would be difficult for them to get to their desired total.
यश, मैं आपको पूछना चाहूंगा आज के मैच में हरमनप्रीत का कितना मैच डिफाइनिंग कंट्रीब्यूशन रहेगा?
बहुत क्रूशल इंपॉर्टेंट रोल रहेगा उनका एज अ कैप्टन भी, और टू लीड फ्रॉम द फ्रंट विद द बैट। बट हमने देखा है कि वो बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट रोल रहा है। और अगर हम आगे फर्दर डाइसेक्ट करें उनके इनिंग्स को, तो 4 इनिंग्स ऐसे हैं जो रन चेजेस में आए हैं, तो 4 में से 3 इनिंग्स में वो सक्सेसफुल रहे, अच्छा कंट्रीब्यूशन दिया है। और बाकी के 2 इनिंग्स जो एक इनिंग्स में जो ज़्यादा रन नहीं कर पाए थे, वो दिल्ली कैपिटल्स के अगेंस्ट आया था, जहाँ पे उन्होंने 6 रन बना के आउट हो गए थे। और बाकी के जो 2 इनिंग्स है, तो उसमें से एक इनिंग्स पिछला वो था गोल्डन डक आरसीबी के अगेंस्ट, और उनके पहले भी एक इनिंग्स था, वो सिंगल डिजिट स्कोर था। तो आरसीबी यहाँ से एक ये ले सकते हैं कि अगर वो टॉस जीते तो मुंबई इंडियंस को बैटिंग में डाले, तो वो एक एडवांटेज रह सकता है, क्योंकि जो हरमनप्रीत कौर के परफॉर्मेंसेज आए हैं, वो मेजॉरिटी गेम चेंजिंग परफॉर्मेंसेज इन रन चेजेज आए हैं। और फ्रॉम बैटिंग फर्स्ट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू एक अच्छा इनिंग्स आया था उनका, वो एक यूपी वॉरियर्स के अगेंस्ट था, जहाँ पे उन्होंने ऑलमोस्ट रन बॉल 33 रन मारे थे। तो वो एक काफ़ी स्मृति मंदाना के लिए एक डिसीजन लेने में हेल्पफुल रहेगा।
So quickly, I would like to move on to the second fan perspective. RCB are playing their first knockout game in the 2 seasons. So the pressure of being in a knockout a game is something which only the players can understand. And apart from that, the Mumbai Indians have been in this situation and have done that. So they have that upper hand over RCB. And even the head to head record suggests that the Mumbai Indians have had the wood over RCB. They have a 3-1 record in 4 games, if I'm not mistaken. But the only victory that RCB have registered against the Mumbai Indians is come in the match to the build up to this game, which was the last group fixture for both the sides, and RCB absolutely demolished Mumbai Indians in that game. So, Pratik, my question to you is, how big is this occasion for the RCB girls, and how much pressure, how should they deal with this pressure?
Well, it is as big as it gets in the WPL, and whatever the RCB girls and the RCB think tank have done for the last month, would go on to define today, because today is the game, and if you lose it, you're out. But a positive fact, and I would say the most positive thing for them, is they've just beaten Mumbai Indians in their last game, and just a couple of days ago, prior to this game. So I just think that the RCB dressing room would thrive on that victory and not look at the numbers that have come prior to this, because as a unit now they are very well placed, and with a star like Ellyse Perry having stood up and delivered that performance recently, I just think that the atmosphere in that dressing room is extremely good. And as far as today's game is concerned, the senior players like Smriti Mandana, Sophie Devine, or even Ellyse Perry, they would play a very crucial role, because these guys have played, a lot of high encounter games, and do know about how these games go on and pan out to be. So it would be important for them to have the little pep talk with all the others in the team. For someone like Shriyanka Patil, who's just breaking into international cricket, just the amount of pressure she would be under today is huge. So a huge game from RCB's perspective, and all the fandom they've achieved over the days, over the years, would boil out to today, and they would turn out in numbers to go on and support their fans. So let's see as to what RCB have in store for the D-Day.
यश, अब मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूँगा कि ये कितना क्रूशियल मैच पोजीशन है, और कितना इम्पोर्टेंट रोल ये बड़े नाम जैसे प्रतीक ने मेंशन किया कि सोफी डिवाइन है, एलिस पेरी है, स्मृति मंधाना है, हु बीन इन दिस सिचुएशन, देव बीन इन नॉकआउट गेम्स, देव परफॉर्म फॉर देयर नेशनल साइड्स, फॉर देयर फ्रेंचाइज, कितना क्रूशियल रोल प्ले करेंगे ये प्लेयर्स?
आई थिंक फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल उनको ये ट्रीट दिस गेम एज जस्ट अनदर गेम, एंड वो ऐसा उस तरीके से ना देखे कि ये नॉकआउट गेम है। बस जो परफॉर्मेंसेस देते आए हैं वो वैसे एक नॉर्मल गेम की तरह ट्रीट करे, और एक्सपीरियंस प्लेयर्स के जो ऑलरेडी ये सिचुएशन में रहे उनको कि ये रहेगा कि जो प्लेयर्स जो डोमेस्टिक प्लेयर्स है और जो प्लेयर्स जिनके लिए ये सिचुएशन नहीं है, तो उनको गाइड करें अंडर प्रेशर कि कैसे सिचुएशन को हैंडल करना है। और दूसरा बात ये कि ओनिंग बोथ द पावर प्लेस, बीट बीट द बैटिंग पावर प्ले और बीट द बॉलिंग पावर प्ले, अगर ये दो पावर प्ले को ओन करते हैं आरसीबी तो उनके लिए चीज़ें काफ़ी इजी हो जाएगी। और फ्रॉम द फील्डिंग पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, टेक द अपॉर्चुनिटीज दैट कम देयर वे, बीट इन द कैचिंग और फील्डिंग में क्लिनिकल परफॉर्मेंस रहना बॉलर्स को भी एक प्रेशर बनाने में हेल्प करेगा। और उनसे प्रेशर बनेगा तो एक अच्छा फ्रॉम, इफ दे आर बॉलिंग फर्स्ट देन दे कुड रिस्ट्रिक्ट द मुंबई इंडियंस टू अ गुड टोटल जो चेस कर सके, और फ्रॉम वाइस वर्सा।
बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल। एक क्रूशियल मैच रहेगा आज। टॉस कुछ चंद मिनटों में ही होने वाला है। टॉस के लिए रुकेंगे, बट तब तक प्रतीक, मैं आपसे ये पूछना चाहूँगा, हू डू यू थिंक इज विनिंग टुडे?
Well, obviously, coming from Bangalore and as a fan of RCB, I would just hope that they go on and make it to the final of the WPL. But as cricket fanatics and coming from the cricketing fraternity, I just want to see another game go down to the wire, because the stakes cannot get bigger, and both teams want the final spot equally. And the team that goes on to dominate today would get that spot, and RCB are going up against a team like Mumbai Indians, a team full of champions, and they've just broken the barrier and made it to the knockouts. So both teams have their own aspirations and inspiration for today's game. So, and we're going to see yet another Harmandana clash. So there's a lot of things to watch out for today, and I'm really excited for the game.
यश, मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूंगा आपका मैच प्रिडिक्शन क्या है आज के लिए?
आई वुड लाइक टू बैक मुंबई इंडियंस, क्योंकि बिग मैच प्लेयर्स है, और बट फ्रॉम द फैंस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू आई वुड लाइक टू सी अ क्लोज गेम, एज ऑफ द सीट थ्रिलर हो, और वो एक दोनों टीम्स लास्ट बॉल तक गेम में होने चाहिए। जैसे कि हमने पिछले कुछ मैचेस में देखा है कि जब लास्ट बॉल तक गेम जाता है तो एक अलग ही मज़ा रहता है गेम का। तो एक एलिमिनेटर में ऐसा गेम आ जाए तो और भी अच्छा रहेगा दोनों टीम्स के लिए।
तो टॉस हो चुका है दिल्ली में। आरसीबी हैव वन द टॉस एंड दे हैव इलेक्टेड टू बैट फर्स्ट। मैं बस यहाँ पर एक ये डिटेल देना चाहूंगा कि मैच पिच 3 पर होने वाला है, जो एक हाई स्कोरिंग पिच रहा है इस सीजन, और वही वहां पे है जहाँ पे हरमनप्रीत कौर ने वो 95 रन की पारी खेली है। तो मैं आपसे प्रतीक ये पूछना चाहूंगा कि ये टॉस कितना क्रूशियल है फॉर बोथ द साइड?
Well, Azad, so again, a very crucial toss, and I feel that RCB have gone on to back their strengths, because in multiple occasions their batting has thrived when there's not a lot of pressure being on the batting unit. And again, with the ball, a lot of people have you know gone on to deliver, and uh, the way Smriti has gone on to use the bowlers is again brilliant. And the fact that they are unchanged today, so they would be playing against the same team they played a couple of days ago, and against the same unit. So the head-to-head battle of players would be sorted for the RCB girls, and they would have the fixed set of bowlers they would like to go after when they're batting, and also the bowlers who would go on to attack particular batters. So it's just about RCB deciding to play to their strengths and maximize their chances of winning today.
यश, मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूंगा, बट बिफोर आई आस्क यू, I'd like to just inform the viewers that Yastika Bhatia comes back in for Priyanka Wala in the MI side and RCB remain unchanged. तो यश, मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूंगा कि ये टॉस कितना क्रूशियल है फ्रॉम द मैच पर्सपेक्टिव?
बहुत क्रूशल था, क्योंकि नॉकआउट स्टेजेस में हमने देखा है कि इट इज़ ऑलवेज गुड टू पुट अ गुड टोटल ऑन द बोर्ड एंड देन डिफेंड, क्योंकि डिफेंड करते टाइम पे प्रेशर ज़्यादा चेजिंग साइड पे रहता है, वो रिक्वायर्ड रेट का मैनेज करना। और नॉकआउट सिचुएशन है कि ये जान के कि वापस अगर स्लिप अप हुआ तो दूसरा अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं मिलने वाला, द टूर्नामेंट विल कम टू एन एंड। सो एक एट दिस पॉइंट आरसीबी को एक एडवांटेज है टॉस जीत के। तो देखते हैं कितना टोटल पोस्ट करते हैं। मुंबई पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से ये रहेगा कि जितना कम हो सके उतना कम टोटल पे उनको रिस्ट्रिक्ट करे।
बिल्कुल। तो मैं अब आगे बढ़ने से पहले हमारी फैंटेसी टीम्स डिस्कस करना चाहूंगा जो हमारे यूट्यूब चैनल पर है। तो मैं आपको पहले स्मॉल लीग की टीम दिखाऊंगा, उसके बाद हम डिस्कस करेंगे हमारी ग्रैंड लीग की टीम। स्मॉल लीग की टीम की बात किया जाए तो यहाँ पे यास्तिका भाटिया खेल रही है, तो आप एक बैटर ड्रॉप करके उन्हें ले सकते हैं, या फिर आपको नहीं लेना है तो वो आपका टोटल उस पर कॉल है। Considering that the RCB side is batting first, I would be tempted to make my vice captain to Shabnim Ismail, or you can let it be Smriti Mandana as well. So that is totally up to you. बाकी the squads are unchanged, so मैं ज़्यादा कुछ changes नहीं करना चाहूँगा इस साइड में, बट आप अपना कैप्टेंसी वाइस कैप्टेंसी जैसा आप चाहे वो चेंज कर सकते हैं। दूसरी ओर अगर ग्रैंड लीग की बात की जाए तो ग्रैंड लीग में मैंने यास्तिका भाटिया और ऋचा घोष को पहले से ही ले रखा है टीम में। कैप्टन एलिस पेरी है, वाइस कैप्टन हरमनप्रीत कौर है, और जैसा कि मैंने कहा कि कंसिडरिंग दैट आरसीबी इज बैटिंग फर्स्ट, मैंने यहाँ पर वाइस कैप्टन मंधाना नहीं है, बट आप चाहे तो वाइस कैप्टन मंधाना बना सकते हैं। हाँ, बाकी तो ये है। बाकी आप अगर चाहे तो कोई चेंजेस कर सकते हैं आपके साइड में, ऐसा कोई हार्ड एंड फास्ट रूल नहीं है। सो ये थी हमारी आज की दोनों ग्रैंड लीग और स्मॉल लीग की टीम्स। और इसी के साथ वीडियो को मैं खत्म करना चाहूंगा। फिर मिलेंगे फाइनल के पहले मैच प्रीव्यू और फैंटेसी प्रेडिक्शंस लेकर। जुड़ने के लिए थैंक यू, और फिर मिलता है फाइनल के दिन पर।